Hello everyone, hope you're all doing good. It's been a while, quite a while, but I want to make it up to you by providing that very nice thing that I just created a few weeks back, the NO plugin suite. What is it? What is it for? Let me explain. So that suite is just tools or plugins that I created first for myself to reply to a very specific need that I had when producing music, to remove some of the friction that you can encounter when producing and or creating a track. This plugin suite at the moment has 2.5 plugins. I'll explain why I'll say and a half in a bit, but yeah, at the moment there are 2.5 plugins, but more will follow and it will be added to the suite, and of course it will be free, because at first these are tools that I make for myself, so I want to make it up to you for the absence by providing this free product. So let's start the presentation with the first plugin on the list, which is NO FØRGE. Let's start with FØRGE. What is it? It's basically a kick merger. What do I mean by kick merger? Well, everything is said in the interface. You have a punch, a tail, you can even add a reverb sample if you'd like, and you have the merged result of these two kicks. So the punch from the first one with the tail of the second one, and you have the result. In practice, how does it go? Load the punch, load the second one for the tail, and you have the result down here, and it's updated in real time. Meaning, if I change one of these samples, you'll see the direct result here. You can check wherever you want these two samples to kind of fade in and out, so where the cross point is, how long it takes for these two to actually fade in and out. Can have control over the output gain, some clipping if needed, and for each sample you can trim, normalize, solo or unload, plus also check the next or previous samples in the same folder. So you can quickly check if you have like folders with all of your kicks, you can quickly check all of them and try them with the one tail that you like, or have one punch and try all the tails that you have, so you find the perfect match between the two. You can also change the sample start, the fine tune, so the pitch kind of the punch, and the gain if you need to manage that separately. Small example here. Can even add like the reverb if you would like. I have some reverb at hand here. Yes, I do. And it will just like layer it on top of the other samples. It will not like crossfade or whatever. This will just play on top of the other one. And that's basically it. And if you're happy with the result, you can either click the save button here or just drag and drop the sample into your playlist and it will be saved. By default, it will save in your drag sample folder, so slice audio folder, should I say now, the slice audio folder of FL Studio. But you can change that by using the small gear here and change the destination folder. You can even change the name by default. Every sample that you drag and drop will be named kick merger with the date of the day and merged at the end. And you can also change the sample ordering for the next and previous samples here. Either it's by date, which is my default, or file name. And then you can change the max length of the samples from 1 to 5 seconds. I set it up to 2 seconds. By default, it's way more than enough for hardstyle kicks. Can also disable that limit, but warning, use with caution, because loading very long sample can end up in crashes. Did that happen to me when I was developing that thing? Maybe. But anyway, that's it for this very first one. Oh yeah, I will also explain one more thing. If you're like me and you like nice colors or colors that you like in your VSTs, if you click here, the icon, you have a list of themes that you can use. So you have like different ones. Pick the one you prefer or just create your own. It's a very basic JSON file. I will explain in probably a separate video how to change the themes, or maybe just do a small note on the Gumroad page, or I'll find something and explain how you can actually set this up. That's it for the first one. FØRGE it is. Okay, moving on to the second one. NO contour. Contour, what is it? Basically, envelope filter. Simple, very simple envelope filter with very few control, but the idea was to replace FabFilter Volcano for the people that either do not want to fiddle around with a plugin that weighs way too much than what we usually need for our leads in hardstyle, and also for the people that do not have the money to buy FabFilter Volcano. So that's what this VST, this effect is for, just a kind of replacement for the usual or most common hardstyle envelope cutoff that you use on leads, but that you can apply on any plugins. The way it works is a very basic filter with the cutoff frequency, the resonance, low pass or high pass filter, 6, 12, 24 or 48 dB per octave. The amount is like how much of the pluckiness you want. The output gain, in case you want to increase or decrease the gain, especially if you use the resonance, you might need to decrease the gain a little bit. And also the ADSR controls here, so whatever you would have in any envelope cutoff, I guess, and a small spectrum here. So I'll show you how it sounds by default. It's a very basic filter. The idea is that now you have to MIDI trigger it. And for the people that do not know exactly how to MIDI trigger something, an effect, you might have seen that on many VSTs or effects that you have that kind of MIDI or like triggered by MIDI, that kind of stuff. I'll show you how it's done so that you can use that as a reference if you want in the future on how to set this up. But what you would need for that is a MIDI out, and you need to set up a port here. Pick a port that is not used at the moment. So I'll say, for instance, 11 here. You'll take whatever your MIDI is, put it in here. And once the MIDI is in here, you can click here on the small gear icon, second tab here, input port, and you'll select the same one as you set up in the MIDI out, so 11. If I would have put 12 here, I should put 12 here. And what it does is basically whenever a note is playing here, it's telling this thing, yeah, a note is playing, so retrigger the envelope here. That's what it does. And now that this is enabled, you'll have the very nice and plucky sound that you usually look for in the hardstyle scene, especially for the leads cutoff. That's basically it. So you can use that instead of Volcano for that kind of effect. And that will be my stable for the future. Just so you know, the default settings that you have embedded with the plugin when you open it first, it's actually my setup in Volcano that I just copied and put back in here. So very simple, and same as for FØRGE, you can pick the theme you want up here, and it will be the case for any VST in this suite. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said 2.5 plugins? That's why I say 2.5 plugin. One knob contour. Basically, it's the same as contour, but just one knob. So basically, you take contour, the default preset, you remove all the buttons, just keep the cutoff one so that you do not have to fiddle around with 20 different stuff. You just have one button and it's exactly the same thing. So if I set it up properly here with the 12 input port here, it works exactly the same as contour. It's just like the basic envelope filter. Very simple, very efficient. Just that's why I said and a half. It's just like exactly the same engine as Contour, just like one knob to have a very easy VST or effects for that. If you do not even want to fiddle around with like the ADSR controls, everything is already set up in here. So I hope it will help you, that everything is clear enough for you to use. Everything is available on my Gumroad. If you have bugs and stuff, you can always contact me there. I will receive the support questions and stuff out there, and hope you will enjoy them, create some good stuff with it. And as I said, more plugins will follow. At least 2 of them should follow pretty soon. And until then, see you very soon. I promise very soon with a new video. There is a new tutorial coming out. Maybe not next week, but the week after max. The video will be out, a new tutorial. Maybe it will be about some leads. Maybe I don't know. Maybe. And by then, take care. See you next time. Bye bye.